So everybody has heard about Tom Crook and what happened in Pennsylvania on July 13th. But did you know that on July 12th, Asif Raza merchant was arrested for trying to hire a hitman to assassinate somebody. Um, the official story is that he had several names, including Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Ivanka Trump, and maybe a few more. But those are the three main people that he had names and addresses for. Okay. The official story is this merchant guy, this Raza merchant guy, lived basically in Pakistan most of his life as a banker, okay? Just going to work, coming home, taking care of his wife and kids. And then all of a sudden, somehow in 2022, he started traveling a lot to Iran. And then in 2023, it is said he started going to Iran and started working with the Iranian military, okay? Whether or not that's true, I mean, it seems a little bit fishy. I mean, we absolutely know because of that one pager guy, Mossad pager guy, that that Mossad is in deep in Iran, okay? Or at least they were before February 28th, 2026 here. Now, that being said, okay, so this whole thing seems a little strange, a little ironic, you know. So tell me what you think. Do you really believe that this guy came to the United States, instantly flagged, overstayed his visa, met with FBI agents, okay, throughout this whole time during his trip? He came in through Vegas and ended up in New York and had handlers. And I mean, his claim is that the Iranian government was holding his wife because he had two wives. He had like a double life. He had wives in Pakistan and wives and children also in Iran, which, okay, it's possible that that is something that has happened, okay? I'm not going to say that it's not possible. It definitely is possible. But it just seems like something you would see out of a movie, okay? And that one guy, he did this interview, and he talks about how the Mossad, they're obsessed with James Bond. And they used to get all of their stuff they got the ideas of doing X, Y, and Z all by watching James Bond's movies, okay? They were obsessed with this kind of, espionage. So it just seems a little bit strange to me. It seems as though maybe this merchant guy, okay, Asaf merchant, maybe he didn't actually have contact with the Iranian government, but he had contact with Mossad. And they ordered him to come to the United States. And I mean, from the way that the FBI wrote this whole thing and the way it was presented in court, it's like this guy, after being flagged, knowing he was already trapped by the United States, the gig was up. He already knew it before he even left the airport. He knew. The gig was up. It wasn't going to work. Okay? He didn't have any money. Okay? He was supposed to find somebody to kill a target, which was an unnamed target, and more information would be revealed later on. But he was to look for somebody willing to do it. He was supposed to, and so he was running around New York City basically trying to find someone to do a hit job. And he did not have the exact target of the person he was supposed to have a hit job on. And he managed to come up with $5,000, which I say he got from his cousin. I'm not really sure where the 5K came from, but that's all he could come up with for financial purposes, okay? And I kind of have an idea how kind of the FBI work behind the scenes and getting money up front from people who want to do hit for hires. Partly why I know a little bit about this is because I watch a lot of ID shows, and on ID, there's several cases where people have tried hit for hires, and the FBI has been encouraging, and so they do tell them to go get money, and they do have to actually come up with this money on their own. It's not being provided by the FBI, okay? And it probably wasn't going to be provided by Mossad either, or, as they want you to believe, the Iranian government, okay? So, all right, sure, the Iranian government. Which is a little strange to me, okay? The whole thing is a little weird, a little strange, and I really just am not buying it. I think that this guy might have been tricked. Okay, he's a banker, so maybe, and you know, he's in his 40s, so maybe what happened to him is that he did get involved with a woman in Iran when he went over there, because the Iranians go over to Pakistanis go over to Iran a lot. They go over there and they watch movies over there. They do a lot of stuff. They vacation over there. Okay, it's not like, I mean, the governments are a little bit hostile to each other, not exactly completely hostile. They're, you know, little tit for tat. It's not like warm and friendly, but it's not completely hostile. And maybe we'll do that better next time. Anyways, so I'm just wondering, okay, am I like going insane? Does this sound like something right out of a freaking James Bond movie that happened? Or what is actually the deal with all of this? You know, you tell me what you think, okay? But my actual opinion of this is somehow this is Israel. Okay? We already know they're embedded in Iran. And it wouldn't be, and then we already know they love this espionage stuff. They use honey traps. And so maybe he went over there, had sex with a lady. They said she got pregnant. And I don't know if he really had a wife and kids over there. It said that he does, and maybe he thought he did. Maybe this lady catfished him or whatever, and she's his honeypot. And maybe she was pregnant. Okay, I'm not really sure of the whole thing, but it just seems a little bit weird. You know, the whole situation seems weird. But, so you've heard of him, and have you heard of Merchant and the craziness behind it? And it's so strange that the day before he was, the day after he was arrested, that Thomas Crook attempted to shoot Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. It just whole thing seems a little fishy and funny to me. You tell me what you think. I think it smells funny. You tell me what you think.